The Jared Dillian Show.
I'm Jared Dillian. This is the Jared Dillian Show. We're going to talk about something totally off the beaten track. I can't believe we're talking about this. But it's a very Myrtle Beach sort of topic. We're going to talk about tattoos. And yes, there is a personal finance angle to tattoos. But anyway, in Myrtle Beach, there are a lot of tattoos. I don't know if you've ever been to Myrtle Beach. There's probably, I'm going to say 10 to 15 tattoo parlors on a street called Seaboard Street, which is not too far from the station. And it's kind of like, I feel bad for the tattoo parlors because it's kind of hard to have a tattoo parlor when there's 10 of them right next to you. Like, how do you differentiate yourself? It would be nice if these tattoo parlors could like spread out around town, but the zoning dictates that they're all in this ghetto on Seaboard Street, and it's just it's really bad for the tattoo parlors. I feel bad for them. Seaboard Street is also like bad decision street because that's where like the strip clubs are and stuff like that. So there's a strip club pretty close to here too. But tattoos, like, it's been around for a long time. I remember when people were getting the old English tattoos on their back, like back in the 90s when Sublime was around, and they're just like exploding in popularity. And I just have to, I don't know. I mean, I actually have two, and you can't really see them most of the time because I wear dress clothes. If I wear a short sleeve shirt, you can see them. But yeah, I guess you live in Myrtle Beach long enough, you get tattoos, and then you go to the vape store, and then you get a moped, and then you get CBD, and so then you've just done you've hit for the cycle in Myrtle Beach. So, but I caught the bug pretty late. Actually, I never had any desire to get a tattoo when I was younger. And, I was in the military, so people get tattoos, and man, some of the guys I was in the Coast Guard with got some god-awful tattoos. I mean, some really, like Tasmanian devils and just really bad stuff. So I didn't really see the point. But I did, I can't believe I'm talking about this, but I did do something when I was in college. And I said, well, I don't want a tattoo because tattoos are forever. But what's not forever is a body piercing. That you can take out. So I got this idea in my head. I was in New York City the summer of 1994. There used to be a Coast Guard air station in Brooklyn, so I was out there for the summer. And we went into the city, and this, by the way, New York in 1994 was a little dangerous. So the place where they had all the tattoo parlors and the body piercing places was in Alphabet City on the Lower East Side. And I went Alphabet City was just a zoo. And I went there, and I went to this place called Venus Modern Body Arts. It was a pretty awesome place. I don't even remember what I spent, like $40, $60, something like that. I did get a body piercing, and I had it until about age 32, which was a really long time. I mean, you sort of, once it's in, you don't really want to mess with it. You don't want to take it out. But it starts to look pretty bad when you're fat. So then I just kind of said, I think it's time to take it out. But the tattoos I got last year, and I went to Atlanta to a gallery called Stygian Gallery. And it was honestly, out of all the life experiences I've had, from running a marathon to sailing the Atlantic Ocean to all this stuff, getting a tattoo was pretty far up there. It's pretty awesome. And this place, was like, it was an art gallery. They have art all over the walls, and it's, exposed brick. And it was a high-class place, and they have like this doom metal playing through. I mean, it was just, it was very, very cool. And it was just a great experience. And it's also an incentive to stay in shape. Tattoos don't look so good if you're out of shape. So I'm actually going to go back in a couple of weeks and get a half sleeve done. And it's going to be a little expensive. It's 2 whole days. I don't know exactly what it's going to cost. I think it's going to cost $1,200-ish plus. I was told recently that you have to tip 50%. So, it's going to be close to $2,000. I have that kind of money, but other people get tattoos like that and they don't have that kind of money. Like that's like all their cash, So tattoos also they have a reputation for being like this bad financial decision, because you see these people, and I don't want to stereotype, but you see these people who like clearly don't have any money, and they're walking around with like tons of artwork on their bodies, and they have like no cash, and they have like $10,000 worth of tattoos, and you're like, oh man, you just kind of shake your head. So, the question is, how much money do you need to have before you get, and not just like a little tattoo, but like an expensive tattoo, like something over $1,000? How much money do you need to have before you get a tattoo? And by the way, whatever you do, don't get a tattoo and put it on a credit card. If you get a tattoo, please pay cash. Pay cash. The last thing you want to be doing is paying interest on a tattoo for the next 3 years. That's the last thing that you want. So anyway, this is the world's most frivolous expense, and I'm not some kind of scold. I'm not like some kind of Christian scold. I'm not against them. I'm actually for them. But it's pretty far down the list of priorities. So if you're going to be getting tattoos, here's the rules. Here's the rules. You need to have no credit card debt. Like none. Absolutely none. You can't be carrying like a $10,000, $20,000 balance and get a tattoo. You need to have no credit card debt. Preferably no car loan. It would be good if you didn't have a car loan. I don't care if you're driving a piece of junk car. It would be good if you did not have debt on your car. Yes. You also need emergency funds. You need all these things. No credit card debt, probably no car loan. You need an emergency fund. So emergency funds is 6 months of expenses or $10,000. And you need a little bit of extra on top of that. Then you are financially stable enough to get a tattoo. If you have a car loan, God forbid you have payday loans or anything like that, lots of credit card debt, you're in debt up to your eyeballs. I don't care how cool you think you will look with this tattoo. You are not financially prepared for it. It's not good. And like I said, I'm not being a scold. I'm not against it. And you can't, by the way, this is another reason why you need to have all this cash, is you have to tip the tattoo artist a lot. I just learned this. Actually, when I was in Atlanta, earlier this year, like I didn't know the etiquette, and I under tipped her, which is really unlike me. Like I'm very embarrassed that I did that. I didn't know the etiquette that you have to tip a lot. So if you want to get a $1,000 tattoo, just don't show up with $1,000. You're going to need more. So count on spending a lot of money when you do it. I'm a very a very selfish person, I guess. I like vanity. I like nice clothes. I like looking good. I like jewelry. I spend a lot of time on my appearance. Body modification is cool. I like artwork. Whatever you want to do, like I'm totally in favor of it. Just don't go in debt to do it. Don't get a $2,000 piece of artwork on your body and then spend the next 3 years paying it off. Although they probably are cheaper in Myrtle Beach. I will say, I think I got an expensive one, but they probably are cheaper in Myrtle Beach.
The Jared Dillian Show.
I'm Jared Dillian. This is the Jared Dillian Show. Let's take a call. Mike from Miami. How can I help you tonight?
Well, I got a question for you about money, but first I want to say thank God there is another show on that isn't just old guys screaming at the Democrats. Thank you for the information you're giving. It's fantastic. Thank you.
Thanks. I appreciate it.
My question is this. My wife and I have saved up about $100,000 over 40 years. And we have the opportunity to invest $100,000 in a Waffle House franchise. It takes $100,000 to franchise a Waffle House. What should I ask for before I dig into a franchise opportunity? What are the questions I should ask because this is all the money we got.
So your biggest issue here is diversification. I'm going to ask you another question. What is it currently in? Is it in the financial markets or is it in cash?
It's in a T-bill.
Okay. So it's earning a little bit of interest.
It's earning a little bit of interest. I hope that president of ours increases that interest, but we, on average, over the past 40 years, we've done about 6% interest on that money.
Okay. So the thing that strikes me about your question is that you would like to invest in something that is relatively illiquid very late in this stage of your life. So the time horizon
That's right.
So the time horizon on investing in a restaurant, I mean, you should be willing to stick with that investment for at least 10 years and possibly more. And if you've been, I don't know how old you are, but you said you've been investing, you've had this money for 40 years. So that raises a little bit of concern for me. And the other thing that makes me a little bit concerned is that you will be completely undiversified. So if this Waffle House investment fails, then you really will have nothing. So I would advise against doing this. I mean, this is something that's, I think, better for somebody who's younger, somebody who's better able to take risk. You're really not in a position to take risk because you want to live off these assets as you retire. Does that sound about right?
I appreciate this information. That was what my instinct told me. It is a blessing from Jesus that you are on the radio and not another guy screaming at the Democrats. Thank you, Jared. Thank you for your advice.
Hi, this is Jared Dillian. Catch the Jared Dillian Show from 6 to 8 Eastern only on the Smart Talk Radio Network.